I am so excited to be here with you all again. We are here for our second episode of Behind the Growth. If you missed our first episode with our pastor, Mario J. Rafford, please go check it out. It's on YouTube. You can also find it on our Facebook page. But this morning, we have such a special guest, the evangelist, the presiding elder, the one and only, the most prettiest guest we could have this morning. Pastor Doctor, is it Dr. Pastor or Pastor Doctor? Stashia, Emanuel, we are so grateful for you being here this morning. How are you?
I am good. I am so glad to be here. It's awesome. A little chilly. The weather changed just quite quickly over here in these Kentucky states, but everything is going good.
Listen, I love the HBCU gear you rocking. It's homecoming week, right?
Homecoming week.
So if y'all see our beloved pastor, associate pastor this morning, take it easy on her. She's had a long week with everything going on. So super excited. But this is Behind the Growth. And so we want to know, first and foremost, who you are, where you're from, where you grew up, anything about your background that you think our members in our Growth Point family should know.
Okay. Well, as Minister Weaver said, my name is Stashia Emanuel. I hail from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I tell people, it depends on what day you ask. My mother's from Philadelphia. My father's from Trenton, New Jersey. So we cross the bridge quite often, every day, as a matter of fact. So it just depends on what day you ask. So I am truly from the Northeast, and it comes out every now and again when I say certain words. But I am from there, love it there, came to the South, fell in love with the South. I was in Georgia for many years, did my master's in Georgia at Albany State University, and which is an HBCU.
The Unsinkable.
The Unsinkable.
Come on.
Yes.
You got to get on the ship because it's a Come on.
Absolutely. And I was there in the flood.
Yes.
So yes, we are truly the Unsinkable, Albany State University. And then I just journeyed up and stayed in Atlanta for years, established my family there, then moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and there, HBCU Pride, Tennessee State University. I was there with the Tigers, and then had an opportunity to come to Kentucky State University. And I am a thoroughbred through and through. Came full circle. Little did I know I would marry a man whose father is a thoroughbred, graduated class of 1961, and all my uncles after that. So I literally have my uncles graduated from Kentucky State University from the class of 1958 to 1970. So I have 5 uncles that were all here. So it was just full circle. So, God makes no mistakes. I was meant to be here. Little did I know that. I am here. I'm loving every minute of it. Just have been in touch with what is happening here on the campus with the student body, the administration. Had opportunities that I never foreseen, just didn't think that would even happen. But the opportunities that I've been granted, again, God ordained, God knew when to place me here in the Commonwealth. And so I have truly flourished. My family has flourished. And then even as we relate to spirituality, I have flourished in attending Growth Point and being under such a rich pastor. I always tell the story that when I first met Pastor Mario, they always said, he's a pastor. And I was like, oh, really? And in my mind, being older, I always had, well, he's too young to pastor me, because I'm like 10 years older than him. So I was like, but one of the things that we do know about our pastor is that he's rich in word, rich in deed, rich in thought. And so he's an old soul. So to sit under his leadership, his tutelage, assigning me different tasks or whatever, I get it. I see where we're going. And so I'm just grateful to be at a church where God rules, reigns, and resides.
Amen. I know that's right. I mean, let's talk a minute about transition and what that means for you. And You've moved, like you said, you were in Georgia, then you were in Tennessee. We're going to race the Tennessee State part. But what does that mean for you? What does growth mean for you? What does transition mean for you? And how important is that to embrace that?
Yeah, I think, the saying that's out there is the only thing that is constant is change. And so knowing that change is going to come, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
And so my position is to always be in a position to be accepting of the change, to be aware that change is happening. Change is, it's like I said, it's inevitable. I about women and pregnancy. You start off one way, and you go through a gestational period every 3 months, which leads to your 9 months, and then you birth the product that you that started off so small in this human being that just has flourished with 10 fingers, 10 toes, eyes, nose. You really have went through, your body has gone through a transition, but the end result, the human being that was birthed, that you cared for, that you coddled, that you rubbed your belly with, that you prayed for, all of the things, the end result, that human being is what you prayed for, and that's what you got. And so I feel that we talk about transition, you have to position yourself. You always have to be ready. Transition was, it's not new to me. My family has always been one that says, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this. Even though most of my family is still on the East Coast, in the Northeast, we are all over. My uncle left from Philadelphia, went to Maine to be in the Navy. I have another aunt that married a Army man, so she's in Maryland. So we always knew that, we don't mind moving. We don't mind doing what's necessary to get a result, because that's what it is. You cannot stay in the same place and get a different result. You got to be able to have an open mind, a willingness, and saying, okay, this is what it's going to take for me to get to the next step, to get to the next round, to get to, and that's spiritual as well. You cannot stay in a dead church. If that church is not feeding your soul or feeding what you need spiritually, you have to transition out of that and go to what is needed, so that your spirit and your spirit man can grow, because it's the spirit man that's going to live forever. This natural body is going to go, but it's the spirit man that's going to live forever. So you have to transition to make sure that your soul is being fed, so that you can see the heavenly places and go into those heavenly places and walk into those heavenly places. You have to make sure that your body, mind, and spirit are all connected and already say, listen, this is what we're going to do. Tell your mind, this is what we're going to do. Tell your body, this is what we're going to do. Tell your soul, this is what we're going to do. And you do just that.
Yeah. Woo, where's the organ at? Where's the Hammond? We're going to church.
I can't with you, sir. And you yourself has transitioned. Look at how you've grown in your transition. A young man from St. Louis coming to Kentucky State University and transition, not just from a city to another state, but how you transition from a freshman to a sophomore, to a junior, to a senior, and then not even just classification, but moving up in your mentality, your maturity level, how you went from a regent to student regent to Mr. This and SGA president. I mean, those transitions, you had to position yourself and get your mind ready to transition. And now you transitioned 2 states, and then you went another and went to Wisconsin, where nobody thought, we're going to find Black folks out there, but you went out there, did what you needed to do, graduated with your master's, and now you're in Pennsylvania doing great things there. So the transition but it all was a setup. It was all a setup. It started in St. Louis, but it's going to end somewhere else. It's the setup, and the Pennsylvania is not the end of it. And we have to realize that when we transition, that the place that you go in is not the place that you're always supposed to be. You have to be ready to go to that next location and that next destination, because if not, you'll get stagnant, you'll get stale, and nothing gets, when anything is stale, it gets molded. And so you have to be able, you have done that yourself. And I'm so proud of you for doing that, because so many young people do not understand that you go back to your home. What's there?
Mm-hmm.
What you let me tell you, one of the things I've learned in life is that an X is an X for a reason. You
Woo.
left for a reason. And now you're moving to where you need to go. So you yourself, you are the epitome, the living example of transition, you know.
Lord. That's so important. And sometimes when we're called to go somewhere else or to change or to transition, we will trick ourselves to think that it's not God telling us to transition or to move to where we need to go, because it's one, it's uncomfortable, and two, it may not be the most ideal situation for us, not knowing that he already has a plan for us to make it through whatever difficulties that we have. And so that's always you just went to church. Lord, pastor's gonna have to preach after this episode. Lord, listen. But no, this has been great. So I want to ask, what has serving at Growth Point been for you? What is the impact that it's had on you, serving? And what is because you do such an amazing job, you do so much. But what has serving at Growth Point done for you?
Oh, serving is the ultimate price of leadership. You can't be a leader and not serve. And I think that's where we have the title of servant leader, because being at Growth Point, I've met a lot of people. I've met some amazing people, have become friends with people, have created bonds that I didn't even know existed. So it has been a wonderful experience. I have had the opportunity to serve. And it's so funny because usually when I move to a particular place or attend a church, I'm just usually there. I always start off just sitting and just enjoying the music or enjoying the word and everything. And then some type of way, somebody says, come here, I need you to do this or do that. And so, and it's not by accident. It's not by accident. So, saying that God instills gifts in us that we're not supposed to sit on and keep dormant. If you sit on a gift that God gives you, it's a slap in the face. Because you're saying that what you invested in me, I don't even take it seriously. I don't care about it. Basically you could have kept it. And so because he has given us these gifts to lead, to work. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that word, working in the church and doing different things in the church. But it has been an awesome time. The spirituality that we get when it comes to or the way our spirit man is cultivated when it comes to Growth Point is just it's real, it's authentic, it's nothing put on or made up, it's spontaneous. It is what we need in this day and in this time, because it's a right now modern word. We're not talking about thee, thou, thus. We are talking to where people are in their lives right now. So that's one of the things that I truly love about our church, is that it has given us the ability not to be fake, not to, fake it till we make it or whatever. It's given us the ability to be real right where we are and be dealt with right where we are right now. And that's one of the things that I do love about serving in the ministry. I can talk to people at any particular time, text, call, say, hey, this is that. And I love that fact that we are just that. We're small enough to do what we need to do, but we have enough love, not just for our church, but for our city and beyond. So I love that about the church.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we close, is there anything else you would like to share with the people that you want people to know about you, that you feel like you haven't shared already?
I think that a lot of times, just because of the demeanor, like I said, straight from the Northeast, but I'm not untouchable and I'm not unapproachable. Yeah. I'm there. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. A lot of people, if as many people as I do know in the church, there's a lot of people that I still don't know. And so I'm making a point to get around to get to know them, because one of the things that I want us to do, and what one of pastors' focus is this year, as we were ordained in May, I think it was, is that being the associate pastor of prayer, I want us to be a praying church. I want us to be a watchman on the wall. I want the church to know that prayer it still works, and it still changes things. It changes people, it changes lives, it changes situations. So I want everybody to know that you don't always have to run to the pastor or to the minister or to the associate pastors. You can create a prayer life right where you are, in your car on 64, going around Circle 4, coming in off of Sales Road, coming to Kentucky State University. You can create a prayer life in your office, in your bathroom, in the shower, no matter in your kitchen. Yep. No matter where you are, you can create that prayer life. And I want the people to know that we are going into a season of prayer at the church, and we need that season of prayer. Not only do we need it for the church, but we need it for ourselves, and we need it for each other. We have people such as yourself that are now, flourishing and growing and getting married and having children, and, in our different places. And it's important that we pray for our church and our people. But then if we create an atmosphere of prayer that is so strong, some of the things that are happening in this world, we can say we bombarded heaven for that. And I'm so excited that our pastor had the foresight to see that that's what we needed to do, because I walked this campus many times, and I have prayed, and I know what I prayed, because I know that it works. I know that it changes things. It changes situations. Prayer is this. If I could say this, and I'll stop. If I could say this, prayer is the greatest and the most privileged thing that we have, because it allows us to have a conversation with the Almighty. Who else can have a conversation? So prayer is awesome. It gives us access and allows us to have a conversation. And then not only have a conversation, but when you get so in tune with it, you'll hear back from heaven. Yeah. You'll hear back from heaven. So that's what I want. That's what I want the people to know, is that you can come to me for anything. I'm willing to do whatever is in my power. And if I don't know, I'll find out. Yeah. And I'll try to make a way. And I want them to know that we are going to pray for change. We're going to pray. Yes.
Lord. Woo! It was a whole sermon by itself, Lord. On today, I'm going ahead and tell Mario that he don't need to preach, because we're just going to play the video for church.
I love you so
much. No, I appreciate you so much, and we appreciate you at Growth Point for all that you do. I mean, you do so much, and people don't even know the half of what you do. And so we appreciate you. I appreciate you. And, when that day comes, Lord, he's going to say, well done. Yes, God. So thank you for tuning in to another episode of Behind the Growth. We hope that you enjoyed it. As always, like, subscribe, and share. And we hope to see you in the sanctuary right after this.